Have you ever felt like you're standing on the sidelines of a gold rush, just watching it happen? Well, that's what's going on with AI right now. It is creating a massive, massive opportunity for regular people to build some incredible wealth. So today, let's dive into a clear, actionable blueprint for how you could actually get there by 2026. And here's the best part, captured perfectly by the AI entrepreneur Liam Otley. You do not need a PhD or some fancy computer science degree to get in on this. This isn't just for the Silicon Valley folks. This opportunity is wide open for everyone, and we're gonna break down exactly how. To do that, we basically did the homework for you. We've dug into the playbooks of two of the sharpest minds out there. We're taking the high-level strategy from Liam Otley, the how, and we're combining it with the boots-on-the-ground tactics and tools from Dan Martell, the what. Put them together, you get one ultimate roadmap. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Your Millionaire Blueprint. This is all about the strategy, the big picture plan to get you to your first $10,000 a month, and it's all based on Liam Otley's framework. So, what's the fastest way to get started? According to Otley, it's not trying to build some crazy complex app. Note, it's starting a simple one-person service business. You might have heard it called an AI automation agency. Now, that sounds super technical, right? But it's not. It just means you become the guide for other businesses, helping them figure out how to use all this new AI stuff. Otley breaks this whole journey down into a really simple three-phase plan. First, you start, building a side hustle to get to 10K a month. Then you scale it. And finally, you expand. But for right now, we are laser-focused on that first, most important phase, just getting started. The whole mission in this first phase is super simple. Hit your freedom number. That's that magic number, usually around 10 grand a month, that lets you quit your day job and go all in on this thing. And here's the secret. You don't need to learn everything about AI. You just need to master one tiny, super valuable piece of the AI puzzle. And this is where the rubber meets the road. We're talking about 4 real-world systems that businesses are practically begging for right now. Things like a speed-to-lead system that can instantly reply to new customers, or an AI receptionist that makes sure a small business never ever misses another call. You just have to pick one to start with. Okay, so you've got the strategy, you know what you're gonna sell, but what do you actually use to build these things? Well, that brings us to Section 2, where we're going to pull in Dan Martell's expertise to build our toolkit. And this is where Dan Martell's advice is just golden. He says your choice of tools is everything. I mean, the right ones can literally 10x your business, while the wrong ones are just a colossal waste of your time and money. So knowing which is which, that's the whole game. To figure this out, Martell uses this brilliant, simple ranking system. It goes from S tier all the way down to F tier. S tier tools, those are what he calls non-negotiable for the future. You have to know them. F tier, yeah, just don't even bother. This framework makes choosing your tools so much easier. And what's really cool is when he analyzed over 500 different tools, it became super clear that the biggest opportunities, the tools that are going to make you the most money, are all clustered up in that S tier and A tier. That's where we need to focus. And that brings us to the core of this whole thing, right here in Section 3, building your ultimate toolkit. This is where we connect the dots between Liam Otley's strategy and Dan Martell's top-ranked tools. So let's finally answer that big question. How do you actually build those in-demand systems we were just talking about? This is where it all just clicks into place. Remember Otley's AI receptionist system? Well, take a look at Martell's S-tier list. Bam! Right there is your atlas.com, a tool made specifically to automate phone calls for businesses. It's a perfect one-to-one match. Let's do another one. Otley's speed-to-lead system? That's all about workflow automation. And what's Martell's S-tier pick for that? Zapier, a foundational tool that connects thousands of apps to automate pretty much any business process you can think of, with zero code. You see how this roadmap is starting to build itself? But listen, there is one tool that kind of sits at the center of this entire universe. The one that, as Martell says, pretty much started this whole revolution. And that tool is, of course, ChatGPT. Just look at that number for a second. 700 million. That's not total users. That's how many people use it every single week. The scale is just, it's mind-boggling. It is the undisputed king of the hill. Martell's advice here could not be more direct. He ranks it at the absolute top of the S tier and says it's just dominating everything. This isn't optional. If you're serious about this space, you have to use it, you have to learn it. Period. Okay, so we've covered the strategy and we've picked out the tools. Now for the most important part. Let's boil all of this down into a simple, powerful plan that you can literally start today. And I get it, this can feel like a lot of information, like you're trying to drink from a fire hose. It is really easy to get overwhelmed. But the actual path forward is incredibly simple as long as you focus. So let's make it crystal clear. Here is the entire game plan on one slide. It's this simple. First, pick one system and decide to master it. Second, pick one S-tier tool to build it with. And finally, your only goal, as Otley says, is not to get 100 customers. It's to get just 4 clients. That's it. That is how you start. And this part is so important to remember. Yeah, the income is amazing, but the real prize here is what you're becoming along the way. You're not just building a side hustle. You are acquiring what are, without a doubt, the most valuable and future-proof skills on the entire planet. So, we've laid out the map. We've shown you the tools. The AI revolution isn't coming, it's already here. The only real question left is, what are you going to build with it?